wrestling coach, Cody Garcia. Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So first off, just kind of want to recap the first half of your season. You've taken part in several conference duels and then also hosted the Dan Harris Open. What are your overall thoughts on the first half of the season?
You know, the first half of the season is exciting. I think you look at, one, we get to establish our lineup. We get to kind of build that team cohesion through a lot of open tournaments, which is unique about the sport of wrestling, where we can take 30 guys at the same event, kind of feel like we have the younger guys watching the older guys that are having success, kind of believe and trust in the process a little more, and kind of understand what it's going to take to be successful. But at the same time, just with the need for duels, to be advocates and ambassadors of the sport of wrestling, we've pushed more duels to first semester, which it's awesome to be in a conference that has wrestling as a sponsored sport. Not everybody's in that position, so for us, to make sure we're fitting in 5 duels, and hopefully we'll grow into more moving forward. It's important for us to have them early too. So it was a good start. Obviously, there's matches that we want to highlight and kind of pinpoint as far as things that we're training for. But for us to start at home in front of the home crowd, that's an awesome way to start the season. And then had some great events. Lindenwood's a high-level event, a lot of Division I schools there. So those guys kind of see where they're at, things that we need to work on. And then to kind of end the semester with a home duel against Grandview, to kind of see some things that we need to make sure that if that's the team, one of the teams that we need to compete against here when it comes to conference and conference for national tournament allocations. It was kind of a good reference point for us and things that we need to work on as we kicked in the second semester.
Yeah, starting with the second semester, you recently just competed in the NWCA national duels.
Mm-hmm.
Defeated number 17 Marion kind of on a last second meet. How important is that for you as a coach and for your team to see some competition outside of the conference?
Oh, that event, I love that event. That was my favorite event as an athlete, and especially as a coach. I think the concept of it, right? We don't necessarily have that from a national championship standpoint. It's still just an individual tournament. Yeah, you keep track of those individual team points and all those things, but to really, if you want to build that team cohesion, then that's an important thing for us to do. That's kind of really, especially with minimal amounts of home duels or early season duels. That's something that we can go and kind of create that. But yeah, we wrestled Life, who we don't really see very often. Marion, we don't see very often. And Campbellsville. Those are 3 solid teams that in any other environment we probably wouldn't get to see something like that. So that's good. Even maybe not the results that we wanted, but they go out there and wrestle. I haven't counted the matchups, but there's probably 15, 20 matches of ranked versus ranked type matches going on, or against ranked opponents that we need to help get our guys in position to be ranked.
And then in terms of individuals, you bring back all 5 national qualifiers from last year, including 3 NAI All-Americans and defending national champion Lucas Lovern. How important is it for you as a coach and for those guys to have that success in the locker room and kind of mentoring and developing those younger wrestlers?
Yeah, I think that's huge. especially in a dual format, we have 4 guys right now that are pretty consistent. In 10 matches, if you can be pretty confident going into 4 of them, that makes a big difference. I think those other guys kind of understand that, hey, if we can pull it, if we can get 6 wins, then you go back to that Life duel. We lose against Life, and they end up making the finals, and we lost at 25 and 33 by 1 point, and kind of lose a silly match at 84 when we're up by 6, going for a major, which I like seeing, right? He was continuing to attack, but I think if we would have seen those types of attacks out of 25 and 33, then maybe we're sitting right in a different position and we're having a different conversation right now. But those guys, like I said, even after all those duels, right? They were the ones that kind of had the team meeting. They were the ones that initiated all that, and I think they understood kind of where they're at and what it's going to take to get to that level. But that leadership's huge, and having guys that have bought in and they're doing it the right way, that's important. That's what building a culture is all about.
And then on Thursday, you're going to host NCAA Division II Drury University in the duel. Preview that for Breaker Nation and what you, as a coach, can expect to see.
Yeah, no, it's an exciting duel. I think that they just jumped into the rankings for the first time. They're ranked 10th in Division II. It's James Reynolds, their coach, is somebody that was a GA when I was wrestling still at the University of Nebraska Omaha, and then helped out Coach Denny at Maryville for a couple of years before he started that program over at Drury. So they're young, just kind of similar to us. But they've done a good job building that program up, and it should be a very competitive duel. All the way through. At 197, it's going to match up. I don't know what Rennick's ranked in Division II, but I think he's ranked pretty high against David Dow. They went back and forth. I think they're 3-2 against each other maybe in the last 2 years. We've wrestled them a handful of times, but those are two highly competitive guys, powerful guys. It's going to be a fun match to watch. But throughout that duel, I mean, there's going to be a lot of matchups that are going to be tight matches. It can be exciting. That's what duels are all about. That's how you build that energy, is having close competitive battles.
And then on Sunday, you're going to travel out west to Hays, Kansas to compete in the Kansas Cup, one of the largest wrestling meets in the state of Kansas. Kind of preview that for Baker Nation as well.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome concept. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to go the last few years because it was the same weekend as Missouri Valley Invite. We finally got it moved off that weekend. And for us to go and compete against, obviously, just to, again, showcase that Kansas wrestling is growing. When Baker added 10 years ago, we were the 6th program. Now we're at 17. Or 7th, so it's grown so fast, and I think it's cool that Baker was kind of like a catalyst in that growth movement. But to see all those teams being able to come together, I think that's a good thing for Kansas to see. And we're still growing that, and I think there's a couple teams that aren't going to be able to make it. But I'd like to, we got a chance to maybe host next year if we can get it on the right day, get some things figured out. But that's an event that, we should, as a state, look forward to doing and showcasing, athletes. And, from our recruiting base, we recruit a lot of local kids, a lot of, Kansas, Missouri, a lot of Kansas kids especially. I mean, we might take 8 Kansas starters to this thing, which is cool to see.
Coach, we really appreciate your time, and we wish you the best of luck this Thursday.
Well, thank you.